James earned 85% on a math test. If his percent represents 34 points correct, then how many points was the test worth? Total points. My work on the right, you can follow along with me. James earned 85% on a math test. His percent represents 34 points correct. When I build my line diagram, I start at 0%, go to 100%. I place the parts that I know on the diagram. I already know that he scored 85%, so that's a fairly large chunk of that line for the line diagram. And I label it 85% is what James answered correctly. I know from the story that his points were 34 points, representing that 85%, so I mark that Scoopy as well. That ratio is complete. 34 points represents 85%. And we're asked, what's the total? I do not know that, so I have that as an open rectangle above 100%. In a situation like this, we are trying to work backwards to figure out the total. So a good strategy is to write a statement and then an equation from that to solve. So we'll use our algebra skills to do that. The statement, 85% of what amount is 34? 85% of sum total is the 34 points that he earned. So from that, I can write an equation. The multiplier for 85%, 0.85. What amount would be that total that I don't know? So I'm going to use X to represent that. And it would equal 34, the points that he scored. 85% of sum total is 34. With that equation, now we can work backwards. We can solve it and figure out what the total would have to be. Anytime we solve an equation, we know we can divide by the number of x's that represent or that are represented in that term. So the multiplier 0.85 is how many x's we have, and we can divide by that. I know it seems weird. In the past, you've had things like maybe 5x equals 10, so we divided both sides by 5 to figure out what 1x would be. But this situation works the same. So it's okay that there's a decimal. We still divide by that same value, and it creates a giant 1, and that's the goal. Because if we can make a giant 1, that means we have 1x. So 85 hundredths divided by 85 hundredths, 1x. On the other side of the equation, 34 divided by 85 hundredths, is 40. The 85 hundredths fits into 34. It's a small value, so it fits in there more than 34 times. That's what gets us back to the total. So X equals 40 points total score for the test. The test was worth a total of 40 points.